She's brilliant. She went to Berkeley, undergraduate. What did you get a degree in?
Spanish literature.
Here.
That was useful.
Well, I have to say, I come from a family of 7 kids, all of whom were business finance majors, and they used to laugh at me and say, "What can you do with a Spanish literature degree?"
and then she went to UCLA Law School, and which is a extremely prestigious law school. And then
Depends on who you ask.
and then she became a labor lawyer. And then she became a congresswoman, and she's been a congresswoman for 9 years, representing some district in Los Angeles. I'm not sure where. But
We're not either.
Yeah, Los Angeles is big. It's big.
But she's been great in the Congress, not only the issues that she's focused on, but the leadership position she has. She's the only Latina that serves on the House Judiciary Committee. And the House Judiciary, for those political junkies like myself, is extremely important.
Theirs.
I got to know her when she was giving Karl Rove a very hard time for his interference with the U.S. attorneys. She was in the middle of that. She led the hearings on the House in the football world for concussions. She is now looking into the Clarence Thomas issues and his non-disclosure of income from the Tea Party. These are just things that I read about. I see her on Rachel Maddow all the time, representing us well. She sits, she's on the subcommittee on intellectual property, and she is probably going to end up on Ways and Means.
I served on Ways and Means last Congress because we lost control of the House. I moved off of that committee. But the goal is, with the 2012 election cycle, is to make my way back there.
All right.
The goal here is not just to support and have our own Democrats in the state win, but we have to expand all over the country and support good candidates, and that's what I do. At this time, I'd like to ask Martin Heinrich to come up and speak a little bit about his friendship with Linda.
Thank you, Patricia.
I just want to say I could not be happier to be here.
Is he related to you by chance?
Linda is one of those people who I am very proud to serve with. Many of you know I come from an IBW family. She was a card-carrying member of the IBW. She stood up on the Davis-Bacon legislation when President Bush was trying to roll back prevailing wages laws. And she reminds us why we do all this. She brings Joaquin onto the floor. And really, seriously, I think it's so important because back there, people get in their cocoons. And to bring a little reality onto the floor of the U.S. House of Representatives and remind us why we all do this. I mean, it's really for his generation.
Yep.
And so I could not be more proud to be here to support Linda today, and please make sure she leaves here with a lot of help to make sure that in this new post-redistricting world in California, that she continues to be able to stand up for legal principles and for working people throughout this country.
Thank you. Very kind. And I just want to say that wonderful, fabulous member of the House, and it seems like whenever we get really great members of the House, then they want to go and serve in the Senate. Which I can understand why. When you get elected to the Senate, you become better looking and smarter instantaneously. But I just want to remind you, we definitely need youthfulness there, because they don't call the Senate the most exclusive nursing home in the country for nothing. So please help send a little youthful vigor and passion to the Senate, and please get this man here.
And Martin Heinrich is running a very great campaign for U.S. Senate, and I think you're going to be our candidate, and I'm going to be working for you, Martin. Ben Ray Lujan, our great congressman from the North. I watch every way you vote. You do a great job, and I'm so proud to be your friend and your supporter.
Well, thank you, Senator, to you and to Jim for helping bring us together here. And I'll tell you, Linda and Jim were looking for a reason just to come to New Mexico. And weekly, whether I see one or both of them on the floor with Joaquin running around, and some of us have duty. We guard the doors. And so when Joaquin makes a run for the door, there's one of us to scoop him up, and so we bring him back, and he's quick out the other side. But they've been looking for a reason to come to New Mexico. I can't think of a better one with a good friend like Linda in the house. She's been great to me. So she sits there. There's a few areas you can usually find Linda when we're voting.
He has a
And
knife.
everyone is looking for her to talk to her, quite honestly. But she takes time to sit down and to mentor us, to visit with us. We can bounce ideas off of her. And she's a fabulous friend that way, but even a better mentor. And I'll say that, you know, across the country, as we see what's happening, to be able to come together and help our friends from California, and I know many of you have helped friends from other states that have come to New Mexico. Look, in the House, we can win back the House, and I really believe we will win back the House. We're 25 seats away. But they're going to start targeting folks here and there to see where they can pick them off. And especially with the work that we have to do out in California, as they're getting their redistricting completed, and they're looking to try to make a fuss out there with some members that they know are our strongest members, I can tell you I'm going to work hard to be able to make sure we get the House back so we can get Linda back on Ways and Means. It's good to have the representation. It's good to have friends that we can talk to that understand what it's like to come from small little towns and little communities, and quite honestly, someone that loves New Mexico. So we get 2 wins with Linda, but thank you for helping her. I mean, and I know, General, that I'd be remiss. Look, everyone dug in deep to help Linda tonight. On the way out, we can help a little bit more. And I know it's tough, and I know it's hard, and we need the help in New Mexico, but please, Linda needs some help. We need to make sure that we get her back, so that way we can make sure we win this House back. And to be here with my friend Martin, and again, with Marty and Michelle, to be with here, both of you. We have a lot of work cut out in New Mexico. Their sights are set, and they're going to be coming out as strong, and we know we can count on Linda to help us back here when we need it. So thanks for coming out tonight. Thanks for opening up your home, and thanks for making sure that we're going to stand up to some of the ridiculous rhetoric that's going to be coming from Mr. Rove, from Governor Susana Martinez, and whoever the GOP decides to pick as their nominee. But I can tell you, I'm looking forward to watching Saturday Night Live tomorrow night, and I hope everyone else tunes in. So with that, thanks again. Thanks for helping Linda.
When you have to stand here and listen to people say nice things about you, and it's also very heartwarming. So thank you to my 2 wonderful colleagues, and really Patsy and Mike for being so generous and opening up your home and just being great supporters. Patsy's the kind of person, like, she follows fanatically what's going on in Washington, D.C., and something will happen in D.C., and she'll call and she'll be like, you know, stay on it, and, you know, don't give up, and keep fighting, and, you know, we're with you, and you've got people all over the country that think the way you do and tell it like it is, and it really has a way of pumping you up on those days when you feel like you're not getting anywhere, like you're sort of spinning your wheels. I have a saying, and pardon me, it's a little... I'm going to pardon my language, but I have a saying in Washington that some days you kick ass on the hill, and some days the hill kicks you in the ass. And so on those days when the hill kicks me in the ass, if I can talk to Patsy, she always makes me feel better. But let me tell you, Patsy and Mike are not only just, you know, really great Democrats and friends. Patsy and Mike have been trying to get me to come to New Mexico so that I can relax. Now, I don't remember what that word means anymore. As a member of Congress and a mother to a 2.5-year-old, life gets pretty hectic. But she graciously said, look, we'll do a fundraiser, set aside the weekend, you can come out, you can help your campaign, and then you can get some much needed time off to recharge your batteries. And the fact of the matter is we all need time off from time to time to help us get back in that fight. Now, just to tell you a little bit about my district, it's in the southeast portion of Los Angeles County, and I've been blessed because the district is fairly Democratic, and it's very Hispanic. And so, you know, for the last 9 years that I've been privileged to serve in Congress, my re-election races have not been that tough. This year is a redistricting year, and it's a very shifting set of circumstances in California because they took the power to draw the seats away from the legislature. And for the first time in California's history, they put it in the hands of this so-called independent commission, which was supposed to be nonpartisan and not political, and ended up being partisan and political. We sort of avoided a really bad scenario because the initial maps, my district just got carved up and there was nowhere for me to go. The final maps that came out I was put into a district with another Democratic incumbent member of Congress. So you want to talk about...
Not your sister, I hope.
Not my sister. Because she knows I'd kill her. No. No, another Latina. And, you know, there are like 5 of us in all of the U.S. House of Representatives. The thought that a Latina has to take out another one to return to Congress is really not wasn't really an attractive scenario for me, but one that I was prepared to do if I had to. Wonder of wonders, she decided she was going to run in an adjacent seat, which she represents. Part of her old districts are in both of those districts, but that left a fairly clear path for me, which was great news, right? So we were flying high when she made her announcement that she was running in the other seat. I do have a state senator who's running against me, but you know, we were feeling pretty good and pretty confident about the race, and then of course disaster struck. Maybe, I don't know, die-hard political junkies in New Mexico may know this. It's all over Washington, D.C. and of course California. But there's a Democratic treasurer by the name of Kendi Durkee who had like 400 clients in the state of California.
Yes.
Okay, and she's embezzled money from every single one of them, me included. So we found out at the beginning of September that the $320,000 that we had raised and that we thought we had in our account was gone. None of it left. So we had to scramble. September 30th is the end of the reporting period. We had to really scramble to raise money and to try to post respectable numbers so that it wasn't, hey, she's vulnerable, everybody jumps in the race. The good news is people stepped up in a really big way. We raised about $150,000 in 3 weeks. So we reported that as cash on hand. And so we're feeling better because let me tell you, when we got that phone call, my heart sank. It was like, you know, the bottom dropped out. You know, but I gave it some thought and I said, you know, it's not a game ender for me. All it means is that I have to come back and work twice as hard and recoup the money that we lost and keep moving forward. So it means a lot to me that folks in another state, some of you haven't even met me, some of you have, because I try to come to New Mexico as much as I can. It really makes me feel good that you are willing to stand up and help Democrats who are doing the things in Washington, D.C. that you want Democrats to be doing. I'm progressive and I'm not ashamed to say the P word. And I do take on some of those really big fights. And it's nice to know that there are people, like-minded people all over the country. But the fact that you're here tonight and willing to write a check to my campaign to help me get back to Washington, D.C. really, really means a lot to me. So thank you so much for your support. And thank you, Patsy and Mike, for being just the most wonderful, generous friends that I could ever have. I consider them family, and I'm blessed that I have a family of my own. You want more cheese? More water. Okay. Go, Daddy, go get you some water. So this is my son Joaquin. He's 2.5. And my lovely husband Jim Sullivan is here this evening, and he's, you know, my rock and my support system. And Jack is here too. He's one of Joaquin's older brother. Jack, wave. A great older brother. Let me tell you, it's not crazy enough to be a member of Congress, but to be a member of Congress and then have children while you're in Congress is a whole new set of complexities. And when you have, don't touch the cheese. When you have great kids like Jack, who always helps me with Joaquin, lighten the load, it really makes it manageable. So, to my family, I don't know that I tell you guys that I love you enough and that I appreciate your help, but I love you and I appreciate your help. So thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We just had another candidate come in, Eric Grego. Eric Grego is also running for Congress from this district, and so as you can see, we have great candidates from this district, and we're going to take it. So thank you so much for coming. And so enjoy. We have a lot of champagne, a lot of wine, and a lot of Italian food.